Hey there, everybody. Got that funk, obviously. Often when people talk about having chemistry with other people, there's a direct biological reason for that and having to do with pheromones and other factors. But what about the chemistry that you feel for someone that is, for example, across the internet where no pheromones can take place, or be exchanged is a more appropriate way of putting it. I'm sure pheromones are taking place right, left, and center on the internet. Anyway, so that's like one example, but another example is, in person, but from a great distance, where there's no possible way that one's natural aroma could possibly reach the senses of another person, but you still see someone. This is where the phrase "love at first sight" comes into play, and of course, I don't subscribe literally to the idea that you can fall in love with someone at first sight, obviously. Um, but in many, many cases, I found myself in my life so utterly captivated and mesmerized on my very first glimpse of someone. There are women who I have never met, who I've seen literally once, and if I live to be 100, I'll never forget. Um, how, why? It's not that they're gorgeous necessarily. I mean, often they're very pretty or attractive, but that's not the case because the world's full of beautiful people. You don't remember them all. You don't even remember most of them. I barely even notice some of them. So physical chemistry is a fascinating thing to me, and this whole instance where, I'm going to call it love at first sight. Just take it as read that I don't mean actually falling in love with someone. But sometimes I get so struck by uh, uh, first my first glimpse of someone. I find it quite fascinating, and where I'm going with this is yesterday was a festival in my town. In fact, the festival's been going on all week and it climaxes today. And I'm getting ready to go out. And today is probably going to be one of the 2 or 3 times this year that I actually let myself get drunk. If I come home drunk, I'll be sure to make a video for your entertainment. Anyway, my point is, yesterday I was walking through town in between the parades, and I did find myself utterly captivated several times. Now, the last time was the time that I'm getting to here because it was actually the worst thing. I saw this woman in spinning poi, and I couldn't really see her face very well because she had quite long, sort of either dark blonde or light brown hair, whichever way you look at that kind of hair. Anyways, and she had a beautiful black dress on with like a green floral print that went down past her knees, and she had bare feet, and she was spinning poi in the square in the middle of town. And I just like, oh my God. And I felt her right here in my chest. And I'm like, wow, I have to go and see who that is. I want to get a closer look. I want to see if I can get her attention, etc., etc. So I walk up the street and cross the street as she's spinning poi. And I'm amazed at my own internal reaction. I just had this like incredible feeling of connection. And anyway, I got across the street and I was only a few feet away when she finally sort of threw her hair back out of her face while she was spinning poi. And it was her, the woman that I was in love with for the whole year last year. And my heart fell all the way through my feet and into the core of the earth. And I sort of didn't say anything, obviously. I sort of scuttled away. I don't know if she saw me or not. But it's really ironic that I had that feeling not knowing that it was her at all. It didn't even occur to me it might be her. Um, and it was. So it's the second time I've seen her in the last 2 weeks, and sometimes when you've seen me make videos that I've been a bit upset during, it's because of that reason. Um, anyway, my point is, what is it about certain people that you seem to connect with almost immediately, and then other people, despite how nice they are to you, despite how they, even if they're not necessarily being too nice, but despite how nice certain people are, and perfectly friendly and amiable their character seems to be, sometimes you could just never connect with them. You can have a friendship with them, but you never actually feel the connection. And in other times, people can be completely awful to you and horrible and jump up and down on your heart, and that connection remains. How in the fuck does that work, eh? I don't really expect an answer, but I'd like some. So yeah, feel free to leave me a comment below. I'm gonna throw a shirt on and hit the town. May all your ups and downs be ups. Thanks for indulging.